Hey everyone, welcome back to our video series on data science using Python. So in today's video, we'll see how to deal with the missing data. So we are going to cover how to identify the missing values. Then we are going to see the approaches to fill the missing values. Okay, so let's start with importing our data first. So we are going to import pandas as PD and then we have to load our data set into a data frame. So for that, we are going to use the read CSV method because our file format is .csv. Then we'll give index call equals 0. So we'll get a default indexing starting with 0. Now for converting all the special characters present in our dataset to NaN values, we'll use the NA values parameter. And in this we'll give this double question and 4 times question mark because these are the special characters present in our dataset. And then let's load this data. So now our data has been loaded successfully into DF. Now we'll create a copy of our data frame. So for that, first of all, we'll create a different object. In that, we'll use the copy method. Uh, let's just, so now this is our data frame, df2. So all the operations which we are going to perform, will perform on df2 only. Now, let's start with identifying the missing values. So first of all, in pandas data frame, the missing data is represented by nan. Nan means not an integer value, okay? So wherever we'll see a value, suppose in the matte color here, you can see a nan value. It means not an integer. It means there is nothing. Okay. So empty cells in pandas data frame represent as nan. And to check the null values in pandas data frame, we are going to use the method is null. So how to use that method? Uh, Write the name of your data frame, then apply this is null. Okay. So now you can see. So let me just print the few rows of it. So I'll apply the head method on it. So now you can see, now this is null method, and you can say the is na method returns a data frame of Boolean values, which are true for NaN values. Okay. It means that if there is any NaN value, so it is going to return true. So as we already know that in the metallic color on the third row, there is a NaN value. So for that value, it is going to return true. Okay. Now, the same method you can apply it here also. Means you can apply the is and a method also that will also do the same thing. That is also for the same thing. Okay, so that is also returning us the Boolean values which are true for the NaN values. Okay. Now, if we want to get uh, column wise missing values, so what we can do then on our data frame, we have to apply the is null method and then we can apply the sum method. So this is going to return us the names of all the columns variables present in our data frame and then with their missing values along with their missing values. So in price, if you'll see, there is 0 missing values. In age, there is 100 missing values. In kilometer, there is 15. In fuel type, there is 100. In HP, there is 6. In matte color, there is 150. So these are the variables in which there are missing values. So you can apply the is and a method also. That will also do the same thing. Okay. So whatever method you like, you can use it. Both does the same thing. Now, for we have to check our data frame for all the missing values. Why? Because suppose if this age has 100 missing values and this fuel type has also 100 missing values. So is the rows are same for both age and fuel type? So if they are same and if they are same for all of this, means suppose if the minimum value of the missing rows is 6 in HP. So if 6 values are common in this age, kilometer, fuel type, HP and met color, so we can just directly remove that 6 rows if they have nothing in that 6 rows. But if there is no pattern in our data frame for the missing values, so then we have to deal for Then we have to deal column wise. For the missing values, we have to deal column wise. For each column, you have to deal it one by one. So for checking for to check that, what we can do, we can convert our first we can create a data frame for all the missing values, and then we can convert it to a CSV file, and then we can go and check in whatever application is there in your system. I'll check with the Excel. So now let's just create the data frame first. So I'll create a missing data frame. In that, I'm going to access the df2. In that df2, I'll apply is null. Okay. And in that is null, I'll apply any axis equals 1. It means that if there are rows, means if there is rows which has more than one uh, more than one missing value. So give me that type of rows. So now let's print missing. So as you can see, we have many datas which has more than one values missing together. So then what we can do, let's check the shape of it. So its shape is 340 rows and 10 columns. So now this missing is a data frame. Now is this missing is also a data frame with 340 rows and 10 columns with all the values, with all the rows which has more than one missing values. So now let's do what? Now for checking it, we can just export it as a CSV file. So for that, we can use the method to underscore CSV. And in that, the first parameter we have to give is the missing one.csv, means in which the file name in which you have to export it. And then you have to make index equals true. If you want index should also be there, so you can make index equals true. And if you don't want index, then you can make it false. So I want index, so I'll keep it true. Now I'll not execute this cell, else it will give me an error because I've already executed it. So let me show you that file first. So as you can see, this is the file. Okay. In this, the total values from 0 to from 0 to 341, the total values are. And if you'll notice the pattern of the missing values, so let's go up. What's okay? If you'll notice here, then if you'll see, uh, there is no such pattern. Means the randomly the values are missing in all the columns. So we have to find different approaches for that. So let's just do what? Let's find the approaches. Now, the approaches to fill the missing values are there are two ways. Okay. The first way is that fill the missing values by mean and median in case of numerical values. Means if they are numerical variables, so we can use the mean and median to fill that values. And if the value is, means if the variable is categorical, means they have categorical data, so then we can fill that missing values with the maximum count, means the maximum occurrence. Okay. So with that, we can fill it. So let's start imputing values. So for imputing the missing values, we have to look at the description to know whether the numerical variable should be imputed with mean or median. First, we have to look for that. So for that we can use a method that is called describe. So that method is applied along with your data frame name. So as you can see, I've given the syntax data frame dot describe. So the use of this method is that this method is used to generate descriptive statistics that summarize the central tendency, dispersion, and the shape of the data set's distribution. And by default, this describe method excludes the nan values. Okay, means it already excludes the nan values and then it gives the description. So let's apply it on our data frame df2. Okay, so now you will see that it is returning for all the numerical values, it is returning the count, the mean, the standard deviation, minimum, 25%, 50%, 75%, and the max. So let's look for the price. So for the price, the total count is 1436. Mean is 10,730. Standard deviation is approx 3,626. Minimum value is 4,350. The first quartile is 8,450. The median value is, which is also called as the half, means the 50%, that is 9,900. And the 75%, the third quartile is 11,950, and the maximum value is 32,500. Okay. So age, kilometer, horsepower, uh, or the columns in which we have the missing values. So let's look for the age first. So if you look at the mean of the age, so it is 55. And if you look at the medium, it is 60. So it has no such difference between the mean and the median. So we can use the mean value here. Okay. So for the age, we can use the mean value to fill the data. Okay. Then look out the kilometer. So on the kilometer, the mean value is 68,647 and the 50% is 63,634. So there is a huge difference. Okay. So on the mean, it may be because of extreme outliers, means the extreme highest values. Because of that, the mean has been increased. So here we are going to use the median. Okay, the 50% of it, 63,634. And then for the horsepower, the mean value is 101 and the median is 110. So there is no such difference. There is difference of 9. So we can use the mean here. Okay. Now, so let us impute the missing values of age with the mean values. So first of all, we have to know the missing values of age. So that we already know, but we'll see that how we can find it. So there is a method in pandas that is mean. So we can directly apply it on our series, means x by accessing a variable. So let's see. So this is the value for the age. Okay. Now we'll see how to fill it. For filling this value, uh, the method that is used is fill na along with your data frame name. So what we are going to do, we'll access the column first, that is age. Then using the dot operator, we are going to apply the fill na method, and then age dot mean. So we are filling it with what value? With the mean value, and then we'll make in place equals true, so that the value should directly get reflected in the df age. df2 means in the age column, the value should directly get affected. So now as you can see, the cells has been successfully executed. Now let's just take a look at that is null dot sum. So now you'll see on the age, there are no missing values. Earlier there was 100. So we have filled all the values with the mean value. Okay. So now let's impute the missing values of kilometer. So for kilometer, we have to calculate the median. So let's first calculate the median for the kilometer. So first of all, we have to access kilometer, and then there is a method median. So this is the median value for the kilometer. Now we are going to use the method fill na. So everything is saved. Instead of the mean method, we are using the median. Okay. Now, so that value has been reflected in the kilometer. Now you'll do what? For the horsepower. So for the horsepower, we are going to uh, impute the missing values with the mean. So let's first access the mean of the horsepower. So for the horsepower, the mean value is 101. So we are going to fill with this value. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the same method dot fill na, and in this we will access the horsepower variable, and then dot mean. And to reflect the value, we are going to apply the in place equals true. And now we will check all the, okay, so we have to first apply a method now. So as you can see, for each kilometer and horsepower, we have filled all the missing values. Now fuel type and met color has been left. So as we already know that fuel type and met color has categorical variables. So for the categorical variables, we are going to use a different method and different functions. So now we are going to check, we are going to impute the missing values of fuel type first. So as you can see, I've written the syntax. On a series, we are going to apply a method value counts. Okay. So this method is going to return us the total value of the means it is going to return the total occurrence of all the variables means all the values present inside the uh, fuel type. So let's first look at that. So for that, we have to first access the value type, okay, and then we have to apply the value counts. As you can see, it is returning petrol, diesel, and CNG. These were the three values present inside the fuel type, and it representing in descending order means the highest occurrence is on the top, and then the less and the less, then diesel and then CNG, okay, and it automatically excludes the NA values by default. So it is not counting the NaN values. Okay, it is excluding the NaN values. So now let's just do what? Let's just fill the missing values in fuel type. So for filling the missing values, first of all, we have to find the highest occurrence. So we'll find it by index 0. So this is giving us petrol. Now by using this, we are going to fill our all the missing values in DF in our data frame in the variable fuel type. So let's first access that fuel type. Now we are going to apply the fill NA method, and in this fill NA method, in place equals true. Successfully executed the cell. Now let's just check it. So now we have filled all the missing values in the fuel type also. Now only one variable is left, that is met color. So let's just do what? Let's just impute all the missing values of the met color also. Okay. Now, for imputing all the missing values for the met color, we will use the mode method. The mode is the value that appears the most frequency in a data set. Okay. So let's just first check it. So the most occurrence is of 1. So as we already know that in the met color, there was only two values, 0, which was representing false, and 1, which was representing true. And 0 was for that there is no metallic color applied on that car, on that vehicle. And 1 was for that, yes, there is a metallic color applied on that vehicle. So now we will just fill our metallic color, means all the values missing in our metallic color with the mode. So for that, we will use this fill NA method, and then we are going to apply this. Now, one more thing is there that we are going to access with the 0 index. So as you can see here, when I access 0, so I'll get the 1. So we want to fill with the first value. So in the case of bimolar, means when we have suppose 3 or 5 values and 2 are most frequent ones which has come in our data, means that particular variable. So in that we'll get with our indexing. So as you can already see that 1 was at the 0 index, so that's why we just directly access the 1. with the zero index. So that's why we have given 0 here. And now let's just apply the in place equals true so that it will reflect directly in our metallic color variable. And we'll check it here only. So now as you can see, we have filled all our variables with the mean and median, and for the categorical we have taken the most frequent values, and for the most frequent values also we have choose two ways, one with the value count and one with the mode method. Okay, now now we have filled because we have only 5 and 6 columns, so we have used separate ways for each of the column. But suppose if we have 50 to 60 columns and we have to do the same thing in all of them, in the numerical and the categorical. So for that, what we can do, we can use a different way so that it will directly be done. So first of all, for that, I'll create a different data frame. So I'll just create a df3 by using the copy method, and I'll copy df. Okay. And let's just check the df also with the is null, that it should be okay. So now you can see we have all the missing datas with us, means they are not filled in the data frame 3. We have filled in frame 2, not in 3. So now we have data frame 3, and in this data frame 3 we are going to do the same thing, but just by doing only one, just by writing or applying only one method. Okay, so let's just see that. So on that df3 we are going to apply, and we will apply a lambda function, and in this lambda function we are going to apply x dot mean, and then we'll give a condition that x dot d type equals float, or else if it is not float, then fill na and fill with x dot value counts. After value counts there will be index, and in the index we are going to put 0 because we want to access the first value. And then let's just check df3 dot is null with the sum method to check that it has been applied or not. So now you will see with that only one single method, we have just directly clear, means fill all the values of our variables. Okay. Now what we have done here, first we have accessed our data frame df3, then we have used the apply method. Now this apply method is used to apply a particular function on all the columns or row wise. So here it is getting applied column wise. Now then we have used a lambda function. Now what is a lambda function? It is an anonymous function, and it is a very powerful function. Okay, which can be applied in this apply method. In this lambda function, we have taken the parameter x. In that parameter, we have applied the inbuilt built-in fill na method, which is used to fill the na values. On that, we are saying that x dot mean means if, with the condition that if the data type of x is float, then do what? Then fill it with the variable of, means of that particular mean of that variable. Means if it is a numerical value float, then fill it with mean. On in else we are saying that if it is not float, so it will be an object. So then if it is an object, then take the value count of it, and then we have accessed the zero index. Why we have accessed the zero index? Because we know that the most frequent one value will be at the zero index. Okay, because its value counts give it's in descending order. So that's why we have accessed the zero. So if there is the object value, or you can say the categorical value, then it will fill that. But then this fill na method is going to fill with the most frequent value counts, and if it is a float, then it will fill it with the mean value. And then we have checked it. So as you can see, again all the values have been filled successfully. So this was how you can deal with the missing data, how you can identify and how you can simply fill all the values for the numerical and the categorical separately, or you can just do it with a single function also. Okay, so we have seen all the ways. So I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next video.